of banter to deliver something to us, but he said no. Um, so we'll talk about what happened last night, and today it's a big one. Bayern Munich against PSG. This time with they are still we're going to know if they are going to come back with something or not. If they come back with a bronze medal, then they stuttered back. If they don't come back, then we'll know what we'll say at the end of the day. So we'll talk about all of that that's happening in the world of football. We'll also touch on a little bit of golf because there's some but all of that will be happening in the locker room. So to get your thoughts in those, Zibi, tell us how we can be a part of the show.
All right, you can send your messages via WhatsApp. The number is 0809 4440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981 and catch the live stream up on YouTube as well. Just search for Smooth981 on YouTube, click subscribe, and you can even post the comments on that live stream as well.
All right. So those are the ways you can join us. I think we may open the phone lines eventually, but first of all, let's hear what the stories are that we'll be taking today.
All right, we lost stupidly to Gambia, and this is according to Flying Eagles coach Bosso. LIV has changed Antiquated PGA Tour and benefited professional golf. Havertz's penalty retake a joke, and this is according to Bellingham. Mbappe's presence a potential game changer for PSG against Bayern. Conte hopes to energize Spurs players on touchline return. Pellegrini Betis in good hands against Man United. Barca have never bought referees, insists Chief Laporta. And Parker unsure of Bruges job. Is that Bruges?
Bridget.
Bruges. Oh, okay.
So I don't know how to talk about Scott Parker, but I blame, some people say it's Club Bruges, but I think it's Bruges. Um, but I don't know what possessed them. I don't know what motivational speaker spoke to them. I don't know what they believed, but it was a horrible decision, if you ask me, to hire Scott Parker, who couldn't manage a Premiership team that to through survival to go and manage a Champions League team. Like it's almost as if these owners of teams just hear, Scott Parker has a player win 7-1 on aggregate. That's how Club Brugge lost in the Champions League. So whoever advised them, they should fire that consultant. But for Scott Parker, he says he doesn't even know if he'll be in charge of Saturday's match. That's how unsure of his job he is. That's how poor his job has been since he took over. But let's see how it works out for both the club and Scott Parker. But first, let's start with Flying Eagles and what happened all the way in
And this was on.
they had a penalty that they did not score, that they missed, and they didn't take advantage of their chances. And my only question is, Ladamboso, at what point did you notice that your boys were playing stupidly? Because I noticed it from the first game. So if it took you this loss to notice that they were not taking their chances, it's a problem. What were you doing on the sidelines? What were you doing in training? What were you doing when people were previewing the videos of the matches that you played? Because the team, and everybody had said it, everybody had seen the team and said it just looked hopeless. And yes, they were getting results after results, Flying Eagles are walking backwards. In fact, Nigerian football is walking backwards. Um, and at some point when Pinnick was in charge, we're blaming Amaju Pinnick. Now Pinnick is gone. There's a new guy there. It's the same thing. I think football in Nigeria just needs to be walking backwards because there's a World Cup this year. We missed the World Cup last year. There are AFCON qualifiers this year against next year. So there's too much happening for football not to be improving. It's really a sad one. Um, I wasn't hopeful for the boys. The team that I thought would win this championship and have also made it to the final in grand style is Senegal. Senegal's in football has been improving, and you look at them across board from the age grade all the way to the senior team. You look at their players, you look at the way the teams have grown. Senegal is doing well, so Senegal is getting something right. that Nigeria is getting wrong. And it's not a time to go to the drawing board. I think we just throw that drawing board away, hire a room of young consultants and get football working again, because everything is failing. Coaching is failing, the talent is not coming through the pipelines, and so the results are not coming. So
Hmm.
yes, we're going to play a third place match against Tunisia, and maybe we could win that bronze
I
medal.
hope we win against Tunisia right
I
now.
hope we lose.
Why?
No, because we really need to. There is a rot happening
Hmm.
in football, and the more we're getting results, the less we are taking note of it.
Hmm.
So I think everything, sometimes some things need to completely crash and burn before people start fixing it. That's how it is. You know, you see the car in your car, you see the car is shaking a little bit, you're like, yeah, the car is shaking a little bit, you're like, yeah, it's still, but it's still moving. You just need that car to wake up one morning and say, I'm not moving. Then that's when you call a mechanic. So sometimes that's what needs to happen to Nigerian football. I think we just need to start afresh, and nobody should say, oh, but we can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. There's no baby now. It's just dirty bathwater that we have, and we need a overhaul.
All
That's it.
right. Live Golf has forced the PGA Tour to change its Antiquated system for the benefit of professional golf at high level, and this is according to Rory McIlroy. The PGA Tour announced some of his events will have new cuts, smaller fields, which many are now arguing that mirrors.
Players in, they'll give you ridiculous amounts of money. And so players were moving over to LIV, and it was threatening the PGA, because PGA has always run, been the guys that run golf. Um, and so they came up with this rule that, if you play for LIV, you can't play in the PGA tours. If you can't play in the
Mm,
PGA tours, it means you can't play, you won't be part of the ranking system, you'll be part of the Ryder Cup, things that are continental, things that are national. So they own that. Um, but recently, what it is that they've now recognized, and when you move to the LIV, everybody's like, yeah, they've moved for money, they've moved for their pension, they are so greedy, they are killing the game for money. And then only for them to announce that from 2024, PGA Tour is going to take mirror some things from LIV. So
mm,
basically, they're going to create a field where nobody gets caught, so that you end up paying for all 4 days. Before, there used to be a cut, they'll have like 80 players, and then they'll cut down to like
mm.
10. Now everybody's going to play for entire 4 days, and it could give you about 20 more $1 million.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, LIV has now made PGA to start to sit up and to start tweaking, and now the PGA is stealing from LIV. Now some players are really upset. They're like, why don't we just go and join LIV? Why are we, you know, squatting with the PGA when we can move to LIV and collect all this money? Because we're criticizing those people that they're killing the game for money,
Mm,
and now we're doing the exact same thing in PGA. Now they're supposed to have a meeting, a players meeting yesterday, and some players didn't show up. There are some players that are angry didn't show up. Rory McIlroy was like, let's just come together, sit down and discuss. Because Rory McIlroy is one of the people that are saying, you know, LIV should, I mean, this PGA should be the main one, and we'll
mm.
work on it, and LIV should be scrapped. So he's like the face of that, himself and Tiger, but Tiger doesn't play as often. So Rory McIlroy is the guy. But the other players are just like, you guys are just copying LIV. So it's not that LIV is bad. You're just angry that LIV thought of it first.
They
So
did it first.
we're going to see this couple go back and forth. But I think at the end of the day, the PGA might have to make a deal with the LIV, or to find a way to, because players are just going to wake up in the morning and say, you know what, instead of playing for $20 million more, why don't I just move to LIV and collect
Mm,
$100 million? A lot of money, right?
right.
For golf.
Tega, you're so shady. All right, now the decision to allow Kai Havertz to retake his penalty was a joke. And this is according to Borussia Dortmund's midfielder Jude Bellingham. He said this after Chelsea knocked the German club out of the Champions League on Tuesday.
All right. The first thing I'll say to Jude Bellingham is that he should be more worried about the fact that even if that match went on for 3 days, they still won't have put the ball in the back of the net. And don't get me wrong, they came close, they tried. At some point, they're really pressuring Chelsea just to get that goal that would take the game to extra time. But the fact is, I didn't see how the ball was going to end up in the back of the net. It was a combination of their um, incompetence and or lack of quality and Chelsea's moments of brilliance, because Chelsea had some moments of brilliance in the game yesterday. And on that note, I would say that's what he should be worried about. But I'll also argue for him, because I say this all the time. This encroachment rule, if the player of the team that is taking the penalty also encroaches the penalty box, I don't think you should reward them with a retake. Because yesterday, yes, they are retaking a penalty for encroachment, but there were also 3 Chelsea players encroaching. So why are you rewarding them? If there's, I just think if it's only the opposition player that's encroaching, of course, do a retake, because clear advantage. But if the team taking the penalty encroached the penalty box, leave it like that.
Right.
All is fair, because both teams have encroached. Moving on, because I don't see how, because Kai Havertz missed that penalty fair and square. And just as Dortmund were celebrating and rejoicing, thinking that, their future is shining bright, referee says retake for encroachment, only for me to watch the encroachment and Joao Felix, because he says his name is not Felix.
It's Felix.
It's yes. Felix, yes. Oh, my village people call it Felix, but that's not the issue. But Joao Felix, on the other end, I've forgotten the name of this player now. That was encroaching too. So but there were I think about 3 Chelsea players also encroaching. Why are we doing a retake? Let's just leave it like that. Dortmund encroach, Chelsea encroach, moving on. But they now retake the penalty, and Chelsea now score the penalty, and Chelsea are now through to the quarterfinals. Wow. So I understand their hurt, but at the end of the day, I guess rules are rules. But that's one of the rules we need to review. If the team taking the penalty also encroach, no retakes. It's simple as that. Because
it does make sense. One side can't be penalized.
Because what it is that they've penalized Dortmund, and Chelsea are walking away with a reward of a retake. So I think that's one of the rules that needs to be reviewed. But on the day, it's brilliant result for Graham Potter. So far, he has back-to-back wins. So I think the question we're going to be asking now: do you think Chelsea has turned the corner? The numbers to call are
0144.
Do you think Chelsea has turned the corner? But we'll be taking your calls. This one you are suffering the cold. Let me tell you what happened to me yesterday.
Sorry, let me just drink water.
Yeah. It's really bad.
I mind my business.
Maybe you should have taken one of those meals. Just to clear the throat. Alex.
Say what say.
So don't mind me. So yesterday, that's how I was going somewhere and I saw this guy. So
was he hot?
This is heated. No.
No.
He used to come with me to the office,
okay.
But I hadn't seen him maybe all year.
Okay.
So I was so excited to see him. I just ran. Oh my god! And I shook his hand. I greeted him. We talked a little bit, and then I walked away. It was when I was walking away that
you remembered
that I realized that
you were supposed to give him
that the only reason I saw him in the first place was because he was peeing in the gutter. And so I grabbed his bongo holding hand. Oh my god! I wanted to die. So it was after I greeted him. I said, "Tigger, did you just shake the unwashed hands?"
Why did he even extend his hand?
So he was excited to see me. He hadn't seen me all year. I was excited to see him. I haven't seen him all year. And I just grabbed the hand. But the only reason I noticed him in the first place was because I wanted to shout at the person that was peeing.
Yeah, and it was him.
And it was him.
Oh my god.
Disgusting.
No. Smooth 98.1, love music, love life. You're in the locker room.
Break. We're talking about Chelsea, and the question was, do you think that Chelsea have turned the corner? So remember, they won over the weekend of the Premier League, and they have now qualified for the quarterfinals of the Champions League after knocking Dortmund out. So the question is, do you think Graham Potter has turned the corner, or do you just think that these results, you know, they are just a fluke? So the numbers to call are
0144899981.
all right. So while we wait for your calls, let's take this message from Dalvin. He says, "Good morning, ladies." He's talking about Zibi's health. Zibi is fine. She'll just drink some hot water and she'll be good.
And mind her business.
Yeah. Tai was like, "What I find the joke is, why didn't Karim Adeyemi eat his fufu?" No banter for Chelsea. Potter can legitimately say the boys played well and mean it. And he also says, talking about Nigerian football, that Nigerian football isn't walking backwards. Is doing huge backflips.
Should we look at some of the messages?
Let's look at some of the messages on YouTube.
Okay, LK says, the god of football smiled on us yesterday. By us, I mean Chelsea. I still think Porter is a poor manager, but man, we've suffered. We needed that victory. My eyes are itchy. What happened to Tega's hair? Ojo Oladele says, well said, the more we're getting results, we need to throw it with the bathwater.
This one is done. He's like,
that is abuse.
He's like, throw out the baby and the bathwater. Let's see this one. This message from Olaf on WhatsApp. Olaf says,
Happy International Women's Day, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tega, Chelsea only perform because that's the only pathway to the Champions League next season.
Oh, wow. So you think they don't like to win Premier League? All right. Larry from the abroad says,
first, I don't even think that was a handball enough to award a penalty in the first place. Regarding the retake, from listening to the analysis of ex-referees, the encroachment rule only became enforced when the encroaching defender turns out to be the one that clears the rebound. Odd, but guess the rules are the rules.
Yeah, so I think that's something we need to review. And Shegu from Ikorodu says,
Chelsea turned corner. That corner is a blind spot. Let's be careful.
All right, so we'll be taking more of your messages. Do you think that Chelsea have turned the corner, or is this just a fluke win? While we wait for your messages, let's see what is coming up next. Yeah.
All right, now this one has to do with football again. Kylian Mbappe missed the first hour of PSG's Champions League last 16 first leg against Bayern Munich, but the French forward's presence at kickoff at the arena could be a game changer.
Yes, I like the way Gautier was saying it. Oh, that with him, we hope that we can hold possession and dominate possession. I'm like, you're talking about playing Bayern Munich in Munich. Hold which possession, dominate which possession, with which midfield. So you look at the PSG team, and for me, I would say this: I do not doubt PSG going forward. I know that they can score goals. The problem PSG have is that their midfield is not well. They're top heavy, so they have very good forwards, and they can score, but their midfield is not well balanced. So defensively, they are always found wanting. Their defense is exposed, and what makes matters worse is their goalkeeper Donnarumma is having a bad time. He has some very bad moments of intellectual vacancy. So somehow, when he needs to show up and make a save or two, he ends up costing them a goal or something, and that's where the problem will be. I don't doubt PSG they always concede, and because they concede as many goals as they do, it makes it hard. Now, the good news for them is that there's no away goal rule. So the fact that PSG is down by one goal, it just means that PSG is down by one goal. It means that they have the opportunity to score as many goals as possible to try and win this. But I also believe that because their defense is shaky, they will concede a lot of goals. And that is where their problems are. I see a lot of messages coming in. We'll still take your messages about Chelsea turning the corner. But let's take the next story first so that we can cover. Before we take that story, there's a phone call coming in. So let's take this phone call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and your location? All right, go ahead. What do you think?
Okay, so Chelsea, they're not they're still at the first stop, Because one or two results is not enough to say they've turned the corner. You have to look at their performance, all 90 minutes and even that extra time. And yesterday, Chelsea actually had a passage to the quarterfinals because of the retake of the penalty. If you ask me, I think they need to string in a couple of results, maybe like 4 or 5 games. And then let's see how it goes. If they're able to perform well, then we can now say Chelsea have actually turned the corner. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That was Swift. He says he doesn't think Chelsea have turned the corner. Um, he just thinks that, this was one of those results. All right. So we'll still be taking your phone calls. The numbers to call are
014489 981.
And whilst we're waiting for that phone call to come in, let's take this message from Conte.
Anthony Conte says he would try to transfer his energy to his players when he returns to the touchline for Tottenham's Champions League clash against AC Milan on Wednesday.
Yes, and that's today. So he's hoping that he's saying that yes, the boys have played well without him, but now that he's back and recovered from surgery, that he hopes his presence will also help them get a big win against AC Milan today. I, as a person that believes in certain things, I'm superstitious like that. I believe that he should have stayed at home. Since the assistant coach has 100% record and you need this win, might as well let him lead the team. But no, he's fully back, and him being on the sidelines, I don't think that will make them lose. But what it is that Tottenham are a goal down and they're playing against an AC Milan side that also have brought in questionable results, despite the lead that they have so far in the Champions League. So just like their London neighbours, Tottenham can turn this game around against AC Milan because they also too are questionable defensively and they're shaky, and Harry Kane and Son and Richarlison could have a good game and they score as many goals as possible. So the fact that they're one goal down they're not far off. They can still make it through to the next round if they take this match seriously, and I think they have all it takes to be able to turn this one around.
All right, now Real Betis were dealt a tough Europa League last 16 draw against Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United, but the Spanish side are in good hands when it comes to facing the Red Diablos.
Yes, so tough one for Real Betis. You make it to the next round and then you meet a Manchester United side. Now they may be taking some comfort in the fact that Manchester United lost by 7 goals to nil against Liverpool. Hold that thought. Let's take this phone call. Pascal. All right. So Pascal, go ahead. Do you think Chelsea have turned the corner?
Like I have been a Chelsea fan for over 40 something years now, but I just want to put this. The problem we have is the coach. That's just the problem we have.
Okay.
Chelsea will try their best to turn things around.
All right.
And I pray we'll get to top four.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So it's not that they've turned the corner, you're hoping that they will turn the corner. So I was talking about Real Betis and Manchester United. So they will take comfort in the fact that Manchester United lost by 7 goals to nil against Liverpool. So they feel like Manchester United are up for the taking, are available for the taking. The thing about Real Betis is that Manchester United, because of that loss, they're going to be buoyed to do better. And they're going to come with an aggression and an urgency that is completely different, because that's one of the things Eric Ten Hag must have put into them, because I hear he was really angry, and he was ready to go, and he came to training at 7 o'clock, maybe to coincide with the number of goals that they considered. That's not the issue, but he came a little early, to kind of prepare the way for the boys. So I think they'll come in with an urgency to take Real Betis. So yes, while Real Betis have had some good results this season, I think can take out Manchester United.
Barcelona's president Joan Laporta says, or is insisting, that his club has never bought referees, and this is coming amid investigations into payments made to a former refereeing chief over several years.
All right. So these payments were made from so they paid about $6.9 million between the year 2001 to 2018. So for 17 years, they paid about $6.9 million to a company owned by this referee chief. for refereeing, what they call it, refereeing consultancy.
Mm.
On for consultancy on refereeing matters. So I don't understand. What else are you paying for? You, Barcelona is a football club where the players go out to play games. It's not like it's a refereeing school. Do you understand? So what are the refereeing matters you were paying for? Again, this is the clarity we need. And I'm not saying we watch those matches. I mean, yes, you could say Barcelona got favorable calls, but you could also say Real Madrid got favorable calls. Usually big teams sometimes get favorable calls. But at the end of the day, this is a lot of money. $6.9 million over 17 years. So it transcended even coaches in that number of years. So what were you paying for? What the referee? So that's what we want to know, Laporta. Stop telling us what you didn't do. Tell us what you did do. What are the refereeing matters that you paid for? If you can tell us without, the lie detector monitor going off, then we believe you. But for now, this thing is a little stinky. It's too stinky. All right. So let's take some messages because we have run out of time. This is Victor. He says,
Corner bow. They are at a roundabout.
okay. Bimbo from VI says,
Turn corner care. Guess Dortmund were not good enough even in the first leg. Chelsea could easily have won.
and Emeka Onelum says,
Chelsea was lucky our star boy, our Fufu player, Karim Adeyemi, wasn't playing. Injury to Julian Brandt didn't help them either. On the other hand, I'm happy Chelsea won because the longer Potter stays, the better for us opposing fans.
all right. And Noemot says, the baby in him tells me Tottenham Hotspur will go through. Considering Milan's current form, my team will win versus Betis. See, your mouth is sharp. I didn't see you on Monday. I didn't see you on Monday after the 7-0. Mayowa from Bagada says, as for Real Betis, it's okay to dream. If Betis drew with Madrid, who beat Liverpool, they can also beat Manchester United. What are the odds? If I beat the person that beat the person that beat you, I should beat you too. Football is not mathematics, but that's all we can take. I'm so sorry. We can't read your message, Muhammad, Tayo, Cruz, and Shegu from Ikorodu. But join us again on Friday, and hopefully we will to get to your messages and your phone calls in time. For now, we hand over the studio back to Zibi.
Stay with us.